Are you passionate about helping young learners become proficient readers? Do you want to make a lasting impact on their literacy skills? Well, look no further. Hello everyone, it's your student teacher Nika, and in this video, we're going to introduce you to a vital aspect of teaching literacy in the elementary grades, which is assessing a learner's understanding of literature. Just imagine being able to tailor your teaching to meet the unique needs of each student, guiding them toward becoming confident and independent readers. This is where assessing a learner's reading profile comes into play. In elementary education, we use a powerful tool called the Informal Reading Inventory. It's a user friendly, individually administered assessment that allows us to understand each student's strengths and needs when it comes to reading. What's remarkable about this tool is that it doesn't feel like a traditional test to the students. They won't even know they're being assessed. Now, you might be wondering, how do we measure their performance? We use a standardized tool known as the Philippine Informal Reading Inventory, or Phil IRI. This tool helps us determine the student's performance in oral reading, silent reading, and listening comprehension in both English and Filipino languages. By analyzing factors like reading speed, comprehension, and word recognition accuracy, we categorize students into different reading levels: independent, instructional, or frustration. Now, let's break it down further. The Philippine IRI Manual DepEd 2018 provides the processes in conducting the reading inventory. To assess the reader's performance, the teacher must consider the following: 1. Brief the learner, create a friendly relationship, and conduct the test. Oral reading. These are the steps on how to do it. Second is the analysis of the results. We have a quantitative analysis. Quantitative assessment of the reading performance of the learner involves adding the number of observed miscues, taking note of the number of minutes spent in reading the selection, and scoring the number of comprehension items correctly answered. The aggregate results of the word recognition and the comprehension scores determine the reading profile of the learner per passage. We have here in number 1, the computation of the oral reading score per selection. Now, when the learner says something different from what is in the passage, a miscue occurs. Now, a meaningful miscue does not alter the original meaning of the sentence, like run instead of ran. If the miscue changes the meaning, it is a significant miscue. As the cats moved noisily instead of the cat meowed noisily. According to Johnson 2016, whether or not a miscue influences the meaning of the passage being read, equal weight is given. After counting the number of miscues during oral reading, the oral reading score is computed using the formula. Now we have the computation of speed and rate in oral reading. Now we can see this in, for example, Mark Jaden has read the passage Pedretos Na, a 144-word passage in 92 seconds. So, reading speed, we have here the formula number of words read over number of seconds spent to read and multiplied by 60. So, we have here 144 over 92 multiplied by 60 equals 1.56. Multiplied by 60 seconds, we have here 93.9. So the interpretation of this is that Mark Jaden's reading rate is 93.9 words per minute. Next, we have here the computation of the learner's comprehension of the passage. Here we can see, for example, For example, Mark Jaden answered correctly 6 out of the 7 comprehension questions asked after reading Pedrito's Nap. Comprehension performance formula, we have here number of correct answers over number of test items multiplied by 100. Now, for example, 6 over 7 multiplied by 100 is equal to 0.857. Multiplied by 100, we have here 85.7%. Now, the interpretation for this is that Mark Jaden's comprehension is 85.7%. Overall interpretation of the word reading and comprehension level. The reading level of a learner is his or her ability to read and comprehend a graded reading passage. Adopting the criteria used by Johnson, Kress, and Pikolsky, 1987, the Phil IRI uses the following predetermined indices in determining the reading level of the learner in each passage read, namely the percentage of word, the recognition accuracy, and the percentage of correct answers to the comprehension questions. Now we have here the metrics guides the teacher in analyzing the performance of a learner. Next, we have here B, qualitative analysis. On the qualitative aspect of the reading behavior of the learner, the teacher is guided by a checklist to observe him or her while reading orally. The items to note during the reading are the following: mispronunciation, omission, substitution, insertion, repetition, transposition, reversal, and self-correction. When the miscues are noted, the teacher underlines the word. Then he or she writes on top of the word substituted or reversed from the word. Repeated miscues are treated individually. The total miscues are recorded in the form provided. To guide the teacher in planning a reading intervention, he or she examines the miscues often committed and determines if these significantly affect the meaning of the passage. In addition, the teacher observes the learner's reading behavior while reading. He or she takes notice if the reader does word by word reading, lacks expression, reads in a monotonous tone, voice is hardly audible, disregards punctuation, points to each word with his or her finger, employs little or no method of analysis, and many others. So, to summarize, assessing a learner's reading profile is a powerful tool to understand their reading abilities and tailor our teaching to their needs. It's all about making sure that every child becomes a proficient reader, ready to explore the world through literature. Thank you for joining me today. Let's work together to make every child a reader. Have a fantastic day. Study well, future teachers.